Welcome to Spilling the Tequila, the podcast that brings the tequila spilling energy without the hangover. I'm Grace.
And I'm Sonny Joe, and welcome to Spilling the Tequila. Let's start off with a drink. We've got 1800 spicy margarita because that's all we drink. Healthiest drink to drink. Let's take that down.
It's the Grace Avery signature. I've rewritten the recipe.
Oh, that's so good. So good. You salty dog. You salty dog. Anyway, see what it does to me? It just inflames in my body. So
that's maybe why you got eczema.
I don't have eczema.
Inflaming your body.
But this is a special bonus episode for anyone out there that watches reality TV. Bravo, which is like any reality show that's from America. Bravo, if you watch it. If you don't know this, maybe this is not your episode. But listen to it. So the episode today is about, well, let's back the story. So for years that I've known Grace, we've never been into reality shows. I used to tease her about watching Kardashians and Housewives and anything Bravo and stuff. And she said to me, why don't you just sit down and watch it instead of just being judgmental about it? And I said, true, because I'm not a judgmental person. So I started watching reality TV and now I'm addicted and I watch a lot of reality TV. I watched all the Housewives with Grace and a lot of other Bravos. And years ago, she said to me, you should watch Southern Charm. I was like, oh, I don't know. It's not my thing. Like, it looks weird, the poster and stuff. Like, what's it about? Anyway, I started watching it, as you know, I would say maybe, what was it, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. No,
and
two.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm talking, so
I
started, 2 weeks ago, and I started watching a show called Southern Charm, and I'm addicted. I'm up to season 7 at the moment. So I've done pretty well in 2 weeks. I'm watching this religiously. And I contacted Grace and I just said, man, this show's so good, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, one of the characters who this episode's dedicated to, his name's Craig.
Characters.
Oh, characters. What's it called? Contestants? Or
personalities.
One of the personalities on the show, his name is Craig Conover or Conover. How do you say his last name?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm going to say Conover because we're
Conover.
Australian.
Yeah, because we're Australian. Anyway, he's one of the people on the show. And I said to Grace, out of all the reality TV shows that I've watched, he's probably hands down one of the best reality TV characters in any show. Not the best, but one of the best. Like he's up there for me. Like he's in the top 10. And that's a big call because I think reality TV is like, it's a job. It's a star. It's like being a singer or an actor. It's a job. Like it is. Like it's reality TV stuff. He is a genius. He's so funny. And obviously when I started telling Grace, she's like, I know, I love Craig Conover. Like he's great. And that's who the episode's about him being one of the best reality TV stars in reality TV, which is a big call, but I'm calling it.
I think that you've got like a little bit of a bromance.
I do have a bromance.
A one-sided bromance. Hopefully it can be two-sided. Hopefully Craig can reciprocate for you.
I know. And I said this to you. And the reason why I think Craig's good is because I said, when I've been watching this show, I cracked up laughing and I get the way that he thinks. And I said to Grace, he's the white American version of me. Because I'm Australian and like brown, whatever I am. Like I look like Pocahontas right now with some tassels. But we thought we'd dress up like Charles. So it's this show that's set in South Carolina in Charleston. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
And the thing about the show, why it's so good, is that I'd never heard of Charleston in my life. I've never been there. I've never really seen it in TV. And it's like Southern America. So they have those accents like Matthew McConaughey, like, all right. Right?
Well, he's Texan.
Oh, is that different?
Yeah.
Oh, they sound the same to me. Yeah, right. Anyway, they've got that Southern accent.
Not to be pedantic.
So we wanted to dedicate this episode to Craig because for people who don't know him or do know him, they'll find it so funny because this guy is hilarious. Like he's like next level. And I think I'm very similar to him. Not saying like I'm in love with myself. But
that's why you like him.
No, I just think he's a really funny character. And what were you going to say?
I was going to say we should say that we like to dedicate episodes to like different people who are potentially a little bit random, who may not be on your radar, who
Correct.
We like to introduce you to new things.
And we want to introduce you to Craig. Let me get it rolling. Okay, I've got some things. And then when I finish my stuff, you can add in or say things that you know about Craig because you've watched it. You're up to date.
You just want to let it all out. You've got all this pent-up energy for Craig. Let it out, darling.
I do.
Let
I'm
it
going to let it out.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to put the mic down.
All right. I'm going to start off with First of all, put the mic down. I'm going to tell reasons why. First of all, I'm going to give you one fact
Shut
that's going
up,
to blow your mind.
Grace.
I'm going to blow your mind at the moment. So, first of all, Catherine O'Hara, you know, Moira
Mhm.
from Schitt's Creek. Did you know that's Craig's godmother?
What?
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. That's a fun fact because she's
But
like iconic.
how? Who? Who's she? Who's she besties with? His mum or something?
His mum. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so uh so Craig is very similar to me, and I've watched up to 7 seasons at the moment, and these are the similar things. You know me better than anyone, so do you agree? Okay. So
Okay.
Craig said on the show, someone was talking, I think it was like someone saying that they feed their baby formula for women who can't breastfeed. Yeah. And Craig was listening to it and he goes, I'm a baby formula baby, meaning his mum breastfed him, right? Which is hilarious. Not that it's hilarious that his mum didn't breastfeed him and he was a baby formula baby, but the fact that he said that. I also say to my friends and people around me, I was a cesarean baby. So that's one thing we have in common. He's a baby formula baby. He says that. I say I'm a
Okay.
cesarean baby. Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't come out of my mum's. I come out of my mum's stomach for people who doesn't know what cesarean is, just in case we've got
Okay.
young listeners or something. Okay. So, secondly, when me and Craig are similar, why I think we would be really great friends is because Craig got an injury, as you know, on his finger because he tried to put a butter knife through the wall for some reason. I don't know why. Didn't really explain why in the episode. So he had to wear that thing on his hand. So he fucked up his finger. I also chopped off this finger, as you know, 4 years ago from closing in a car door and had to go to hospital for 3 days and I had to get it sewed back on and I had to get plastic surgery. So, yeah, that's two
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on a roll. Yeah. Craig also fumbles his words a lot. And I've seen other characters on the show go, no, it means this, which I do all the time because you always correct me with my words. True.
True.
Yep. So that's three. Yep. Um, Craig also hates the word merch, which I totally understand because someone said on the show, someone said, he goes, oh, you got nice merch. And he goes, I hate the word merch. Like, which is so true. I don't like the word merch either. Like, I
Okay, but
understand his,
hang on. Let's just like press pause here.
yes.
Did you really have the thought before he said that you hate the word merch, or did he just say that and you're like, you know what? I agree.
No, I've never had that idea before ever,
Okay,
but when
so
he said, yeah, so when he said I hate the word merch, I cracked up laughing. I'm like, same. I hate the word merch too. Not because he hates it, I'm just agreeing. I just know what he means by that. For example, I don't like the word pubes,
Hmm,
and I also don't like the word crusty. So I get what he means by that. I also don't like crusty pubes.
that's rank.
All I'm saying is, I get how his brain works. People think Craig's
Yes.
weird. People think I'm weird. We're not weird. We're just honest people, and you just need to understand us. That's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's my next thing about Craig? Okay. So, um, butter knife. Yep. Said that. Cut his finger. Okay. So Craig, for viewers that don't know, or our listeners that don't know, Craig was he went to law school. Yeah. And then he said that he finished, but he didn't. This is on the show. Because he didn't hand in his thesis or whatever they're called. So he's very intelligent. I'm not that smart, but he's a lawyer now. He did pass the bar.
Mm-hmm.
But I always said if I didn't get into acting and study acting, that I always wanted to be a lawyer, which I've said to you. And I always watch law TV shows because I feel like being an actor is like in a court case, like blah, 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 blah. Like you got your audience, you're speaking about there and you're really
You're
powerful with how you're talking.
performing. Mm-hmm.
Performing. Yes. So I think I could be a lawyer too. Yep. And Craig, which is the highlight in the show, which everyone knows about. So Craig is a lawyer. He passed the bar. Maybe you can roll in here with this. And then one day in the episode, he
Starts to
starts
sew.
starts sewing. And I remember
Yeah.
you telling me, I'm like, what do you mean? And he starts sewing where he has a sewing machine in his room and he just
Yeah.
starts sewing pillows.
We
And
should also
everyone,
give a bit of a backstory to well,
yes,
I
that's what
mean,
I mean.
you've just watched it and I watched it as it aired. So I haven't
Correct.
seen it
So,
in a long time. But
mhm.
I remember people being like, and you can correct me because you've obviously seen it recently. But
Yeah.
I remember people being like incredibly tough on Craig
Mhm.
because he's a lawyer but he's not a lawyer, and like, what are you doing about the law, bro? And just
Yep.
like, what are you doing, bro? And meanwhile, there's other people on that show just like fucking about as well in their lives, which I'm just like, so what? Who cares? Like, let the
Mm.
man live. Anyway,
He's also young. He's also younger than all them as well. They're in their 40s and 50s and don't even have jobs. So I'm with Craig, where I'm like, what do you mean? He's 25. He's past his bar. Let him go. Let him sew.
yeah,
Keep going.
chill.
Yeah,
And so he begins, it's outed that he's started sewing
correct.
and making pillows. That's his first.
He makes pillows.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
his
his first
first
thing.
pillowcases. And look, I can't even remember what was Naomi's reaction to that because I
Well,
quite like,
I think the first person he told was Cameron. And
yeah,
he was on
right.
the seat and he's being really serious. And that's why I felt for him and I could relate to him, where he's like, hey, I've got these
Hmm.
pillowcases. And she's sitting there going and starts laughing, which I don't think that's rude. It's like if you hang out, if I told you I started sewing, you'd probably laugh at me as well. So I don't think it was in a malicious way, but he's being serious. Like, no, like I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm
Yeah.
sewing. She's like, what do you mean, Craig, you're making pillows? And then I felt bad. And she's like, what are you doing with your life? You're doing this, you're doing this. You need to start doing this. And it's like, what do you mean? He's chosen to do something, so you should support your friends. And that's why I was just like, these crowd of people are kind of like jealous of him. I don't know what it is, but I just like that he did what he wanted to do. And he didn't need to prove it to anyone else. And to segue what you were saying before with his ex-girlfriend, Naomi, she was
Mm.
like the shot that it showed of her saying, like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like, I come home and all you're doing sewing and stuff like that. Like, and then when he says his most famous line, what's wrong with my sewing?
Sorry, but like, thank God she said that too, because it's such good TV.
Such good TV. And the fact, but I liked
Like,
how he
I'm
turned around
really
and
sorry
goes,
personally that it happened to him, but like, really good for viewers.
but when he turned to her and goes, what's
What's
wrong with
wrong
my
with my
sewing?
sewing?
With a drink in his hand, I'm like, yes, good on you. What's wrong with your sewing? Like, who are you? You're
Yeah.
meant to be my girlfriend, my other half supporting me. I'm with you. Like, he's not a bum not doing anything. He's sewing. So what? Let him sew.
Yeah.
So for
They
people who haven't
also
watched the
weren't,
show,
obviously, I don't know if they were, yeah, quite right for each other. Obviously, they're not because they're broken up and he's with Paige now, whom I love, whom I
I
think
haven't got
I'm
that
like
far yet. I haven't got
Paige.
that. I haven't got that far yet.
Well,
So,
Paige isn't
but not
really on Southern Charm.
right,
She's on
right.
Summer House, which you also don't want to watch, but you will now.
But now that we've like segued into that, guys,
Yes.
he's actually, because I'm up to season 7, he's actually turned this into a very, very, very massive business
Mm-hmm.
where he's got a warehouse now
He's
and
got
he's
a
selling pillows.
store.
He's selling pillows all across the world. Craig makes pillows for everyone. And
He
one of his
has,
lines were, straight guys so too. Like, this guy's a
yeah.
legend. This guy's iconic.
I want to
Like,
take you to Charleston so you can go to Craig's store and buy yourself a pillow.
I buy myself a pillow.
Yeah,
Like, I'll buy a,
support.
yeah, support. You got to
Can
support
I
other
also
artists out
just
there.
say, yes, at that, and also like how just sort of off topic, but not really, really smart on Craig's behalf to do something as iconic as sewing because it's
Mhm.
like, one, how many male Bravo celebrities sew?
Or any
And
celebrities in
also,
general.
or
Correct.
general, correct. But he's the only one on Southern Charm, like when you really think about it, who
Hmm.
actually has something quirky enough about him that he
Hmm.
could build it into a business where now
Correct.
all these people in America who go away for their weekends and whatever and want to go to Charleston and party and like see if they see Shep out, like,
Yeah.
now his store's like a hotspot. And so
Hmm.
people go there, like, how people used to go to like Sir or Pump or
Yep. Turned
Kyle
into a
by Elaine
business.
too.
And now
Exactly.
everyone's bowing down. Now he's got all this money. Good on you,
Yeah.
Craig. See, you stuck to the sewing. Everyone thought it was random. Everyone gave you shit. Everyone was bitching behind your back. But look at you now. Who's got the last laugh now?
You're so passionate about this.
I can just relate to him. Not that I'm a sewer. I don't think I can sew. My mum sewed. Maybe she
Can
should
I
teach
say
me.
who
But
else I think you're like on that show though?
who?
I can see what you're saying that you're like
I'm
Craig.
so Craig. I've got more to of explanations why I think I'm, but I
No,
can't
I'm
believe you
not.
can't see it.
I can't. Did you just
Yeah.
listen to what I said?
Oh no, go. Sorry, my apologies. The tequila's kicking in.
No, but I also think that you are a lot like Shep as well.
You reckon?
Yeah, a lot.
Right. Okay. One thing that I did realize is Shep that I can relate to Craig as well is that Craig I had a friend I still have that friend and it's one of my best friends, but I have a friend where how Shep talks down to Craig and stuff like that. That's so when I was watching the series, that's why I could relate to Craig, where I love Craig, where Shep used to put him down and things like that. And it is his friend. I had a friend that put me down like that as well. So I get where he's coming from, where it's like, no matter what I do, like I went to my friend's birthday, his 30th, and I was wearing a hat. And I rocked up to the party. It was at a nice restaurant. It was like 25 people at the table. And as I walked into the party, my friend, whose 30th it was, goes, Sonny Joe, like, why are you wearing a hat for? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I bought this new hat. I like the fashion. He goes, you never wear a hat. Like, what are you going through your life right now? Like, why have you got it on? Like, it's really weird. Like, are you balding or something? Like, and I was like, no. And he's like, okay, it's just really weird you're wearing a hat. It's his birthday. And he's saying this in front of the whole table. So now the whole table's looking at me about me wearing this hat. I feel like Shep does that to Craig, and that's happened to me. And I can relate to that. It's like, was my friend jealous that I'm wearing a hat and he wanted the hat? I'm not sure, but I just wore a hat. Why am I
Can
getting
I?
in trouble for wearing a hat?
Okay, can I tell you what I think you'll like about Shep?
Yes.
When Shep and Austin were recently in Australia, because I
Were they in
follow them.
Australia?
Yeah, I follow them on
Yeah, I didn't
Instagram
know.
and they were
Yeah.
Instagramming all over the place. And I'd go out in Sydney and I'd be like, oh my God, am I going to bump into Shep and Austin today? Like,
Right.
should we have a cheeky
Yeah.
mug?
Yeah.
Um, but I think it was like Shep was here for 2 weeks or something by himself. He was doing like his big world tour or whatever. And every day he'd post these Instagram stories. And one day he met these people outside of the hotel who like just started talking to him, and they were from the
Mhm.
Central Coast, and they said, if you want to go surf, you should come with us to our family's house for the day. Come hang out with us, come stay with us. And he's like, okay. And he made friends with these people, and he was suddenly on the Central Coast, and then like he was here, there, and everywhere. And he was with these like groups of friends who he'd just found and made friends with, and like families who were tripping around that he'd suddenly be at dinner with. And
Yeah.
that's what I think that you are like Shep.
That
Like
is so me,
I
100%.
know, yes, like I know you think,
I like Shep as well,
I
by
know
the
you're
way.
like, oh, Shep, 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 but
You
there's
mean
nice
Craig,
things that,
Craig?
no, how you're like, oh, Shep does this, Shep does that.
No, no,
Well,
no. I don't. I
there's nice
wasn't
things
saying.
about him too.
So the stuff that I was saying about Shep, none of it was like negative. I was trying to relate in early in the series when Shep would put Craig down. I had that with one of my friends. I could relate to that. But Shep,
Yes.
I do love Shep. Yes. And I am similar to him in like partying and all those things. And he's friends with everyone and he's like the life of the party. 100%. That is me as well. And I can see that. And
Mm.
he just wants to do his own thing. I'm kind of like that as well. So yes, I can relate to Shep as well. Like 20% Shep, 80% Craig.
I
And that's why
want to
they're best
be,
friends.
I want to be 100% Patricia.
Sure, you are.
That's my end goal.
How funny when I started watching the show and I messaged you and said I started watching Southern Charm. I bet you $10 you love Patricia.
Yeah, I adore
You kind
her.
of look
I'm
like
not
Patricia
like
right
her.
now. You would be with the drinking and they're like having a butler and stuff like that.
Did you just say I look like Patricia? I'm
No,
about
as in
40 years younger.
no, but I mean like the pearl necklace around your neck. Necklace,
Oh,
sorry guys.
okay. Yeah.
See, I'm like Craig. I said the word wrong. Necklace.
Nicholas.
Okay, so I'm
Okay,
going through
yeah.
the list again of like things that I'm similar to Craig for because I've just wrote all this out, which is kind of funny. Or is that too boring for you?
I keep going.
And remember, we're doing video debut. We can see your face. I can see
Yeah,
you
I
rolling your
know.
eyes.
That's why I'm doing it.
So Craig was also involved in a lawsuit for hitting a cyclist. It wasn't his fault, but did you know about that?
Was it fatal?
No, it was okay. He had to go for court. It wasn't his fault. I think he backed out and hit him and
No.
stuff like
Is
that.
the cyclist okay?
Yeah, the cyclist is fine. Yes, like no one
Okay.
died, no manslaughter or anything like that. But I can relate that to do with something random like that. I got arrested when I moved to Canada in the first 2 weeks that I was there. Remember, I didn't do anything bad, guys. I was
Sunny,
what?
getting arrested. You weren't arrested. You
Or
were
what would you call
questioned
it?
by police, but that is
Yes.
not the same as hitting a cyclist and getting
Wait.
sued.
Then the Vancouver detectives asked me to do help them out with the stakeout. Is that not
Yeah,
similar?
no.
No, I sorry, it's
Craig
not
hit
similar, but
someone with his car and you got caught up in a con. They're two different
yes.
things. I think
Yeah,
you're reaching
innocent, by the
now.
way. No, 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 not reaching.
I need to hold you accountable.
I'm saying very random. I'm very random. Craig's very random. That's where
Okay.
I'm going with it. Yes.
Okay.
Simile? Is that like a simile or a metaphor?
Like a simile.
Okay, so my last one was for that of being how I'm similar to Craig is he started doing sewing because he needed an outlet, right? He needed an outlet to relax if he's stressed from doing his law degree. stresses from his girlfriend or his friends just pounding. He just need everyone's got their outlet, right? People do
Yes.
yoga. Craig started sewing. I love that.
Yeah.
Mine, as you know, is I so people think sewing's really weird. Mine is I go to the movies once or twice a week.
Yeah.
That's my outlet. People find that weird. Not that it's going to the movies. Everyone goes, you go to the movies once or twice a week. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's just like soothing. So like, I've got my weird outlet. Not as like sewing's a little bit like extra and different than the movies, but I think people think it's weird that I go to the movies once or twice a week.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay.
Okay.
So
So that's
sorry.
the
So
wash up.
wait, I've got
Actually,
more. I've got more.
oh, sorry.
So he's a. I can't say this word. He's a therapist. What's that word again? What's that word called where you just like help?
Philanthropist.
Yeah, that's it. I can't
Wait,
say it.
are
I'm
you
like,
still talking about things that Craig is that you are?
no, now I'm just doing facts. So, like, Craig has built like a large platform during his time on the show. He likes to give back to others. In
Okay.
2019, he traveled to the Bahamas, where him and his organization, Sewing Down South, by the way, listeners, teamed up with Lantan Bahamas to raise $20,000 for hurricane relief. Um, Great guy. Just, we're promoting Craig right now. He likes to travel. Craig was born and raised in Delaware, but he's lived outside South Carolina and he's traveled a lot around the world, which is great because, as you know, 70% of Americans do not own a passport. So he's very worldly. And now that we know that, he might come to Australia one day and we can show him around and take him to karaoke
Maybe.
and the
Can
beach.
he bring Paige so I
I'm
can
sure
hang
he
out with
will. He's not going to
her?
leave her by herself. Yeah, I hang out with Craig, you hang out with Paige. Um,
Can I say a fun fact about Craig?
of course, you got to add in. Go for gold. It's not just about me.
No, I know, but I can't get a word in.
No, because I'm a little bit like ADD, not diagnosed. I just like when it's on
Um,
the brain, I got to get it out.
my fun fact about Craig is that he once spent Easter with Sofia Vergara.
Really? Who's so similar
Not
to my
like that.
mom? See, we're connected.
Okay, okay,
Wait, where did he meet her?
we're changing through Whitney, of course, the
Okay.
enigma. Um,
Wait, I've got
okay,
more.
okay,
Yeah.
continue. I've okay.
Okay. So this is what you would love because I know you're a big fan of this person. Well, you and I are big fans. So Craig's goal, everyone, which you probably know this, is to become the male Martha Stewart. Did you know that? Being a reality
I
TV
didn't.
star, great at everything, but Craig has even bigger plans for himself. Before it's all said and done, he hopes to become the male Martha Stewart, and he's already taking some steps to get there. He recently launched a pillow collection through his company, Sewing Down South. And one thing that our listeners know about Grace and I is we say that our friendship is based on Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart's relationship. Grace being Martha Stewart, me being Snoop Dogg.
Does that mean I'm
Um,
more like Craig?
no, no. Like my personality is the same as his. But what I'm saying is you love Martha Stewart
I
and he
do.
wants to be the male Martha Stewart. Like you go, girl. You go, guy.
Yeah, you go. You slay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and just randomly at the top of my head, why do Americans always say in TV shows and movies, let bygones be bygones? I don't know what that means. And also, what's a bygone?
Well, I know like a bygone era is like a era of the past. Let bygones be bygones.
They always have you not noticed they say that in
Can
American
I?
movies and
Can
TV
I?
shows?
Yeah, I could make up an answer for you, but I don't know if it's right.
Well, if it's not right, I guess the listeners will comment to us. So go for gold.
I think like let bygones be bygones is like, oh, let like old delusional people be old delusional people. Who cares?
Right, right.
Like let
Okay. Well,
people
let's.
who don't know, don't know. You know, if you
Right.
don't know, you don't know. Like who gives a shit?
Mm,
If you do
mm,
know, you do know. And that's what matters.
right. What's the
That's what
Australian
I
term for
think it
that?
means.
I think we just say you'll be right. I think we
Like
just say that, eh?
let
You'll be
bygones
right.
be bygones. Yeah,
We
or
don't
like
say that. I've
who
never
gives
heard
a
anyone
shit?
say that in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had one that I missed. So do you know how Craig made a teddy bear for Cameron?
Yes.
He made her a stuffed teddy bear and stuff like that. And so he also does really nice, thoughtful gifts for his friends where he puts a lot of work into it and stuff. As you know, am I not that type of friend that does that for my friends?
Yeah.
I'm a very thoughtful person. I do always fun gifts for my friends. I'm known for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was
Yes.
just thinking about the last present you gave me.
What was the last present I gave you?
Chocolate.
But before that, I bought you a microphone that come in a
Yes,
leather
you did a
case, leather
Jen Shah
case.
microphone.
Yeah, I bought you a
Yeah.
Jen Shah microphone.
Yeah.
So I think that was it. Let me just say, and then you can add in and stuff. But yeah, Craig, legend.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I was just going to say the reason that I'm looking down is I'm currently doing something to get an answer. I'm doing a what Southern Charm character are you quiz. So I'm doing it
Oh,
to get my
stop it.
answer, and
Don't
then
threaten me with a good
once
time.
I finish it, I will quiz you. So you can
Okay.
continue if you have more to get off your chest about Craig because I'm
The
almost done.
last. Well, while you're doing that, let me know when you're done. So no, so this wasn't like, look, I have like bromance. You know when like you're a guy and you like want to be friends with someone. It's not like I'm not like a fan. Like I'm new to reality TV. Oh, that was my other one. Craig's been on a reality TV show, and I've been on a reality TV show. See, I'm the same person.
Oh my God, you guys are separated at birth.
I know he's the white American version of me, and I reckon if he listens to this podcast, he will understand the way that my brain thinks because it's like I'm just he's got a voice. He's a good person, but I like that he's quirky and he's not ashamed of being quirky. Because I'm not
If
ashamed of being quirky, but I'm not trying to be quirky.
if
You know what I
I
mean?
meet Craig at BravoCon,
Yes.
I'm
Because just to
gonna
let you know, viewers, our podcast is going to BravoCon in November, October.
yes.
Grace is going, so I'll be in Australia. We're broadcasting live, but
We're
I'll be in
broadcasting
Australia.
live from BravoCon, which is very
BravoCon.
exciting.
Yes.
But if I meet Craig at BravoCon, I promise, Sonny, I will get
Yes.
him to film a video giving you a shout out, and I won't even send it to you. I'll just put it on the Spilling the Tequila story, and you'll be like, "Oh, Grace has posted a
Perfect.
story," and then you'll freak
Perfect.
out. But don't freak out too hard that you like fall and hit your head or something.
No, I'm not girl fanning. I'm just saying it's like, do you not go through life where you're like, I could be friends with that person? I could be friends with that person. He's just one of those people. And the whole
Yeah,
episode was about he's one of the best reality TV people I've ever seen in any show that I've watched in reality TV. That's what this episode's about.
yeah, I
And
love
I
it.
would
We
if
need
one
more
day Craig
people out there stopping being haters and being
yes,
lovers instead. That's what I
correct, like
say.
him. He doesn't
I just
yeah.
can't wait for you to see Paige.
I
Sorry.
can't wait
Not
either.
that
She
I
sounds
don't
amazing.
love not that I
She
don't
got a
love
hot
Craig, but
name.
she's great.
Um, but Craig, if you ever listen to this, we'd love to have you on the show. No pressure, but I could imagine you coming on Spilling the Tequila. We're in Australia. We're in Sydney. We drink tequila during our show. We have a shot before every show. We just didn't have a shot today because we got margies. But if you ever want to come part of the show, we'd love to have you on the show. Now that you've seen Grace and I, what's up, Craig? Conover, what's up,
Mm-hmm.
Paige? And reach out. You know what it's like. You've got a podcast. Everyone out there listening to this, Craig and Austin, who's one of his good mates. That was one thing as well. Craig moved in with Austin because Craig had asbestos in the house and he was leaking. And my
What did you just say he had in the house?
asbestos. What's it called? Is that right?
Asbestos.
How am I saying it?
Asbestos.
And what's the word?
Asbestos.
Asbestos. Yours sounds the same as mine. Asbestos.
Asbestos.
Asbestos, right. I don't have, but he had a leak with all water, so he had to move out with Austin. My place is leaking at the moment, as you know. So I have to move out of my place at the end of this month.
Do you?
So yeah, I do.
You
Yeah.
didn't tell me that.
Oh, well, there you go. Spilling tequila, breaking the news right now. So yeah, just till they fix it. They've got to knock down my bathroom wall and stuff. I know. Oh,
Shit,
it's so
that's
annoying.
not good.
I know. Not good at all. See, similar to Craig. This shit always happens to us. Oh, also, oh my God, my last one. I forgot about it. Craig also in the episode said that he got bitten by a dog or something happened to his finger. Something bit him. Yeah, a dog bit his
Yes.
finger. What happened to me 2 years ago?
A dog bit you.
What type of dog was it? What did I get attacked by?
A sausage dog.
Correct. Craig gets attacked by a dog. I got attacked by a sausage dog and had to go to hospital 2 years ago. Most embarrassing moment of my life. Well, one of them anyway. That's what I'm saying. We have the same timeline of things that's like shit just happens that doesn't happen to normal people. That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah. And
So
that's fair enough. Well,
have you
look,
found
I
your
did
thing
this
you're looking
quiz,
for?
but it was so long that it didn't really give me an answer. But I found a new
Right.
one, and
Okay.
this will be more accurate, which is which
Okay.
Southern charm guy should you date?
Wait,
Now,
is this for you? I thought the thing was which one would be us.
well, you can metaphorically date them.
Right. Okay.
It's
Let's go.
who you're attracted to the most. But I'm going to read out the
Romance.
answers, and you
Yeah.
choose. You choose for me, and I will choose for you who I
Okay.
think the description is most like someone you would date. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the first option,
Mhm.
do you like to party, have an eye for business, but never want to grow up? Okay. So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Do you
Speed it up.
live do you live for politics, raising the roof and its complicated Facebook relationships? That's the second. Do
Hmm.
you love a mama's boy, Hollywood mover and shaker, and a guy who looks damn good in shades? That's the next one.
Yep.
Do you want someone who gives tough love, makes you laugh, and is the epitome of a Southern Gentile?
Um,
Okay.
so I'm choosing for you, right?
Yeah.
I think you'd be number one.
I think you're number one too.
I'm definitely number one. I'm definitely number one. Are you number one or did I get you wrong?
Um,
You're not going for a politics guy that's raising the roof.
yeah, and I'm not
Yeah.
going for a Hollywood mover and shaker.
No,
No,
that's what
no,
I
we're both
mean.
number one, so we're both Craig.
Okay.
Meet Craig. He's the love of your life.
Craig Conover.
You two will get
Tussle.
along swimmingly. Craig is a law school graduate and finally looking to jump into the adult world of practicing law. A perfect date would include running bar exam flashcards over pizza and lots of wine. Then you two crazy kids could hit the town and celebrate being adults for the day. Craig is very intelligent, so don't think he is someone who just wants to party. He probably is here to party, but when you get in trouble with the law in the future, Craig is the guy you'll be glad to have on your side.
See, that's us. That's so us, both of us.
Yeah.
We love to party. We love playing adult.
Yeah, that's true. We love playing adult. That's right.
We do. We love
Yeah.
fantasizing all the time. We're like, oh my God, we're like in Singapore right now. Like, you know how we do that?
LA.
We go to a restaurant. We're like, this is so New York. We feel like we're in New York right now.
So
Really, we're just in a
LA.
bar in Sydney. This is
Yeah.
so
But
LA.
you,
Yeah,
you, yeah,
true.
you have to disassociate a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Perfect.
wow. I'm so glad that you got to experience Southern Charm. I know that you were really hesitant to it.
Mhm.
And it's always good to get out of the housewife sphere. That's why I'm saying you need to get on Below Deck Down Under after this.
Right, right. Okay. No, I know people keep telling me below deck. I don't know. You know what it is? I think I just boycott things when someone tells me to watch something, and because everyone's telling me I don't watch it, I got to get out of that. I don't even know what that's called, but it's annoying. And then I'm like, oh, like I still haven't seen Euphoria.
Oh, I started to
Apparently, it's
watch that, but I had
amazing.
to turn it off.
Right, right.
Mm.
So, listeners, viewers out there, check out, we'll put Craig Conover's details on this episode when it comes out with his Instagram, TikTok, his show, Southern Charm. Check it out. You can watch it on Hey You in Australia. Yeah, that's where you can watch it. Hey You, and it's called Southern Charm. Promise you'll be hooked in the first week. He's hilarious. And check out his business as well, which is called Sewing Down South. He also has a podcast with Austin, who's also on the show, called Pillows and Beer.
We
Because
should do we should do a podcast crossover, which is like spilling the beer or pillows and tequila.
true, spilling the bit.
Yeah.
Because imagine you had beer and tequila, you end up in the pillows.
Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be good? Imagine like four squares.
Yeah,
We could
true.
do
Like the
that.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Live from
Yeah.
BravoCon.
Yeah. Or
No
housewives during
pressure,
COVID.
guys. No pressure.
But thank you so much. Do you have anything else to say?
I have nothing else to say. I was
Oh, I
happy
felt like
to kick
I
back.
felt like I felt like I cut you off when you're at the Oscars and you're speaking for too long and the music goes on in the background.
Yeah, you
You know
did a
how
bit,
that.
but that's okay. Next time we talk about something,
Do you know who
I'll
that
really
happened
go
to?
for it.
That happened to
Happens to
what's
everyone,
the
doesn't it? They
no, but
play
there
the
was a chick. She's
music.
in what's the chick's name? Really beautiful black actress. She won an Oscar. She's got short hair. She only has short hair. What's her name?
Lupita Nyong'o,
No, but way before her. She was in a movie
Halle
with
Berry.
Halle Berry. Yes. Halle Berry. She's in the Guinness Book of Records for doing the longest Oscar thanking speech. And she's in the
How long
Oscars for
was
that.
it?
Don't know, but it went for really long where they tried to go to an ad break, but they did. She was the big award, so they had to keep on going. Um,
You need to
she
play
was
them off. Sorry, I agree with it. Like a minute and a half is harsh, but like give it like
They've worked
two
their
and a
whole life for
half.
this. They've worked their whole life
Yeah.
for this.
No, I know, but it's like, oh God, we'll all be here for 12 hours. Like,
Have you seen Swordfish
cap it.
with Hugh
No.
Jackman? Great film, by the way. You should check it out. Great
Mm-mm.
film. She's in that, and the director said, if I pay you $250,000 on top of what I'm paying for you, we get your tits out. She got her tits out. So it's
250K US
that was back that
dollars.
was back then though. This is an old movie.
Yeah, I'd do
Yeah.
it.
I know.
Hell, I'd do it
They
for
do it
2,500.
they do it. I would do it for free. I've got little 5-cent nipples though.
We need to go.
Like
We
I
need
could
to
never
go.
get my
This is getting out of
No,
control.
I'm just saying I could get my nipple pierced because I feel like you have to have like a puffy nipple. To
What
get
is a puffy nipple? That
like a
sounds
nipple that's
disgusting. That sounds like
kind of like
pussy nipple.
no, like round, like a 20-cent coin, but it's kind of got like a little like voluptuous in it. Mine's just like a little 5-cent coin. Yeah.
Did you ever get your third nipple removed?
I don't have a third nipple. Why? Does everyone get born with a third nipple?
No, remember when you were convinced you had a third nipple?
Oh, was it a third nipple? No, it wasn't a third
No, it
nipple.
was
I
a
think
skin tag.
it was a skin tag, and I thought it was a third nipple. That's right. I also thought I was a chosen one when I got that. Like I thought if I touch it, like I could like see the future or something. I have a very big imagination. Anyway.
Anyway.
All right, we better end the show. Guys,
Thanks,
thank you so
guys.
much for listening to our special about Craig Conover and Bravo and Southern Charm. Check it out. Check the show out. Check Craig
You
out.
could probably
Tune
also
in.
watch it on 7 Bravo now.
If you're in Australia, correct.
Yeah.
Probably on there. So you
Yeah.
love 7 Bravo.
Yeah, I do. I want to be a
Yeah,
spokeswoman.
Yeah, true. Hi, R7 Bravo. Okay. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Check it out. Thanks for listening.